O Lord, please blesseth me with those cellar-dwelling sharks. Bring them back home to me. I need in my life those skid marks. The Cleveland Browns have hired Kevin Stefanski to be their next head football coach. Thank you. Be praised, Ugh. Oh my God. I really thought I was going to miss this. I really thought that somehow, some way, the Cleveland Browns were no longer going to be the skid marks of the National Football League. I really, truly believed that maybe they had finally figured it out. Maybe, just maybe, it was me not wanting to put the Jeff jinx on them, or maybe I did. And by giving them credit that had been yet undeserved and unearned, I helped sabotage them and bring back my beloved skid marks. Thank you. Thank you. Where do I even begin with this foolishness? Where do you even begin? Kevin Stefanski. Like, this is just typical skid marks behavior on so many different levels. You're in a marketplace that has potential options, established, proven head coaching commodities, yes, granted at the college level, but still proven big name guys, splash guys, when you need to change the culture available, such as Urban Meyer or Baker Mayfield's college head coach, who helped produce back-to-back #1 overall pick quarterbacks and has probably helped to get Jalen Hurts get drafted way too dang high compared to where his actual talent suggests, in Lincoln Riley. And you got neither one of them. And from the looks of it, didn't really have a ton of interest in either one of them. Then, your top candidate, and clearly your top choice, according to all reports, and knowing how the world works today, those reports are true. They wanted Josh McDaniels. They saw the performance in those 2 seasons in Denver over a decade ago and said, my God, that's so good. Then they saw a guy who left the Colts high and dry last year and said, you know what, that's who we want to hitch our wagon to. So Josh McDaniels says, you know what, I'm in the catbird seats. I ain't got to go anywhere if I don't want to. So if they want me, I'm going to make them step up and pay for it. You're going to give me this. You're going to give me that. Screw your meetings this. You're going to get personnel power. You're going to do all this other crap. You're going to make the asking price from you to them so ridiculously high that you are basically rejecting the job without rejecting the job. And that is genius. Josh McDaniels, I salute you. Because most importantly of all, you have enjoyed the temptation of going down in this crap-stained organization that is the Cleveland Browns. Then, knowing that you screwed the pooch on Freddie Kitchens, an unproven guy, very little experience as a play caller, you realize you can't get Josh McDaniels. So I can picture it now. Jimmy Haslam specifically. He turns on the playoff game Saturday afternoon. He sees the Vikings. He sees the 49ers. And he sees this 49ers defensive unit being coached by this young, bright mind and Robert Saleh. Says, you know what? We've interviewed him. He created a good impression, even though we don't care because we've already made up our mind we're not going to hire him. He only made a good impression because he was a token interview for us, and we were actually impressed that he didn't fall flat on his face. They took one look at that defensive unit and their performance and their dominance over the Minnesota Vikings offense on Saturday afternoon. And the Cleveland Browns organization and Jimmy Haslam took one look at that game and said, the Minnesota Vikings coordinator, whose offensive unit just got beat down and embarrassed by that guy's defense, That's the guy that we want to hitch our wagon to. That's the guy who we want to help reclaim Baker Mayfield to semi-providence. That's the guy that we think is going to right the ship. And because we didn't get him last year when Paul DePodesta said we should have hired him instead of Freddie Kitchens, this time around, we're going to do it. He's agreeing to including the analytics folks. He's agreeing to hours-long meetings on Mondays with the owner, Jimmy Haslam. He's giving us everything that we want except experience and credibility and knowledge and the ability, a proven ability at that, to take an offense to a high level. The SKIDMARKS took one look and said, yeah! I love it. This is so awesome. It's incredible because it is such a typical SKIDMARKS thing to do. You have Mike McCarthy available in the process who would seem like would be a pretty good fit. You want to know part of him. More importantly, he wanted to know part of you because you probably were doing this stupid crap trying to say, we want analytics guys, we want meetings with the owners. If you're going to say, well, the Baltimore Ravens do that, there are a couple of notable differences. Number one, Ozzie Newsome was their general manager for years. He knew what the hell he was doing. John Harbaugh is their head coach. He knows what the hell he's doing. Steve Bisciotti, their owner, knows what the hell he's doing. When you have people that know what the hell they're doing, these meetings make sense. But just like in the corporate world, you can have all the meetings in the damn world. If it's run by a bunch of idiots, nothing productive is going to come out of it. And if there are any meetings involving Jimmy Haslam that don't involve how to scam customers out of billions of dollars in your other business, then he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And that's one of the hiring criteria. Not if you're qualified. Not if your unit that you were a coordinator of actually did big things in the playoffs or anything like that. Not if you've actually won championships or gotten into national college football playoffs. None of that matters. We got Paul DePodesta to win his pissing contest eventually. Won the power struggle behind the scenes. Outlasting John Dorsey said, hey, this is right back at you, buddy. We couldn't get the guy I told you to get last year, so we're going to get him this time. Now, why the hell did you ever interview anybody else? Like, that's how stupid and ridiculous this whole thing is. That's what it comes down to. Instead of going through the process and doing something that a real big league team would do, which is going out and getting the best possible candidate, and in this case, because you truly needed to change the culture, going out there and making a big, seismic shifting type of landscape-changing hire, which, at least for the time being, a Lincoln Riley, a guy like Urban Meyer, even a David Shaw certainly would have been, or going with a more qualified, better candidate, such as Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, or Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. You went with Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski. So much about this just represents that it's a Chudzinski for stupid idiots type of hire. This is what it is. What's so different between him and a Chudzinski? I mean, really. Now, look. I think Kevin Stefanski, I'm trying to say this with a straight face, folks. I'm sorry, we're talking about the SKIDMARKS. He could be good. He could come into Cleveland next year and they make the playoffs. And then still get fired 2 years later. You needed to go out and make a big move. You needed to make a big splash. And you threw a pebble into the freaking ocean. And nobody saw it. Nobody cared. I can't imagine looking at your fan base, taking it seriously, saying, hey, we want to win and we want to bring in the best possible people. And bringing in the guy whose offensive unit got steamrolled by another guy that you interviewed defensive unit, but you decided you didn't want the guy that was part of an actual elite unit this year. Man, that mayonnaise power in the NFL and those front offices runs thick. Ain't putting no stuff in our dang potato salad, but raisins, god dang it! Anybody's gonna have the sex life, sister. It's gonna be me! That's the type of backwards ass thinking we've got here. If you're going to go with the white guy, at least go with the undoubtedly qualified white guys like Lincoln Riley and Urban Meyer, Mike McCarthy, Josh McDaniels. And if they're holding your tits to the fire, then tell them, burn them and pierce them, baby. We'll give you whatever you want, Milky Milkies. You get the deal done. Yet again, not getting their top option. Yet again, going with an unproven guy. And how is this supposed to be any different? I don't know, and I don't care. Because until the games start next year, I can celebrate the return of those that never truly actually left us. The skid marks are back, baby!